What's up, dude? Episode 3 of the Down podcast. We're live, buddy.
Hey,
Cheers, my man. Bang.
that's what I'm
Clink.
talking about.
Oh,
Well, shit.
well, shit. So, tell me, how was your week this week, dude?
That's a lot to unpack. Uh,
Well, I
it
mean, we
was
got
good.
we got some time.
It was good. It was a busy week. Obviously at work now it's much more busy. So it was busy. No, I think on Friday I sent out 5 quotes. So
Good.
all on the same day,
Yeah,
down to the wire, but got them all out.
my
And,
man.
yeah, it worked out.
Just moving
So
and
it's been
grooving.
stressful though.
Was
It's
that
been
it? That's all
stressful.
that was stressing you out all week? That was it?
Oh no, the dog. Yeah, the dog. I mean, she's all right. She's still in the woods. Her leg is fucked up again, but I mean, it is what it is. She'll be okay. We're just resting her.
Yeah. And big dogs like that, they're gonna want to get out and run and jump and do all the things. She's
You know,
such
she
a
know
sweetheart.
she does want to do all those things, but like she's also smart. She's not a dumb dog that will just run because she sees something, you know what I mean?
Right.
She knows she's hurt. Like sometimes like she'll go out and go to the bathroom and then immediately come back in and then get back into her bed, Like she's very well aware of the leg injury because last year she fucking broke her leg in
Yeah,
April.
yeah, I remember that. She
It was
snapped it,
fucked up.
like, clean, right?
Fucking snapped it, dude. I was in the
Ugh,
backyard playing with her and she's like super athletic, big. She's 96 pounds. She's a big dog. You saw her. You met her
yeah,
last couple
absolute
weeks ago.
sweetheart.
Sweetheart. She was surprisingly when you came in, she was like she was on alert. I've
Yeah,
never seen her that alert before. She's like,
yeah,
"Who's this guy?
I
Who's
know,
this fucking
and I
dude?"
gave her so much loves.
Oh, I know. She's a good dog. I wish, honestly, with the whole thing going on with her megaesophagus, it's been tough. Like we have to feed her. Like I mean, we're just feeding her. We're just holding the bowl up for her. You have to feed her and give her water elevated, right? So we tell
Right,
her to
right.
sit, and she eats like that. And that really hasn't even been that hard. The harder thing is the leg. Like I feel like it's 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 gonna be difficult, but it would be much easier if her leg wasn't fucked up, so she could still go out and play and like,
Be a dog.
be a dog.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sharing the brain cell, man.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair,
So
man.
that happened. Other than that, that fucking dude. So this week, I was continuing my diet, right? I was continuing the diet, but I fucked up. I think it was actually I didn't fuck up. I had an amazing time. But I forget if it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I came home and like it was maybe like a day that it was just like I was like busy or something. I don't know. And came home and my wife had a roast chicken and she makes these like crispy fried chicken tacos, right? And then we make this tomato, garlic, oregano broth that you dip the tacos in
And
and you
like a
have like
consomme
thinly shaped.
almost? Like a birria taco you dip in
Yeah, it
over
is. We
chicken?
don't call it that. We
Of
don't
course
call it
not.
that. We just call it the fucking tomato garlic broth.
Yeah.
And we don't even call it that. We just call it the sauce. You dip it in the sauce, you put the cabbage, and then yeah, you put some fucking tapatio or some Valentina on it, and bada bing, bada boom. I ate fucking 9 tacos, dude.
9 tacos?
Bro, this is a lifelong meal that I've been eating since I was like a kid. Like, no joke. It would be my birthday. I was like 9, 10 every year. My mom would be like, "What do you want?" Like, we'll go out to dinner on your birthday, but like, I'll cook you something. What do you want? And I'd be like, crispy chicken tacos with the
That's
sauce.
yeah. A whole pizza 2 weeks ago, 9 crispy chicken
It's
tacos with
it's
broth.
called it's called the cheat meal. It's fucking
You
heaven,
cheat
dude.
meal
When you're
last
stressed
week too,
out,
though. It's fine.
yeah,
Once a week.
once a week, dude. I mean, dude, I didn't send you the photo, but I lost another pound. I took a
You put
took a
it all
photo of the
on. You put it all
scale.
back on.
Nah, it's
Nah.
good. It's good for
Okay.
the body, dude.
That's fair. That's fair, man. So,
Outside of that, my week it was a week. It was a week.
sounds like a week.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah, for sure, man.
How about you, dude? How was your week?
It was all right. It was a week. It was busy. The last I mean, really this month, January of 26, I've just been in a funk, and this week it really was just gnawing on me. I mean, I was kind of in a mood a lot of the week, and something that I've always kinda had been, like, my cross to bear is, like I've talked about my anxiety the first couple episodes, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
I go through I have ADD, and so I go through these phases where, like, one half of my brain is, like, locked on point, and whether it's at work or playing with my daughter or whatever, and the other half of my brain is just off. And this week especially, I was really
Thinking
struggling.
about fucking Rome. Thinking about Rome.
Yeah, well, this week it was like just melancholy and frustration, and I was in the bottom of one of those peaks and valleys this week, kind of dealing with depression in its own way. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
depression manifests so differently for everybody. You know what I mean? And I always feel like when I'm in one of those pits, I'm not able to be my best self, like for my wife, for my daughter, and that this week was one of the pits, and, like, the last couple weeks, I felt myself going down, but this week I hit it, but, at the same time, today, I feel like I'm coming up out of it, going back into one of those highs, so, hey,
good,
maybe
dude.
that means everything will be moving forward, but, I mean, work was I don't even like, I was just I've been in a fog, right? Like, I don't remember.
Is it work related? Is it I mean, like, because I obviously I know, I work with you. We share a fucking office, so I see you, and I can tell the second you walk through the door, literally, I can just look behind and look at you and be like, "What's up, dude?" And the second I see you, I'm like, "Oh, he's in a shit mood today." Just because we've worked together for a year now,
Yeah,
so I kinda know you a little bit.
if anybody, that listens kinda to what I'm about to say, like, can relate and make me feel a lot better, and Steven, if you can relate to what I'm gonna say, I don't know if it's work related or personal stress or what. I'm in such a fog, like, I don't even remember it's Saturday, I don't remember what we did on Wednesday. I don't remember Thursday at work either, you know what I mean? Like, and that's,
Yeah,
like.
no, I can definitely relate to that. I can
Yeah,
definitely
like,
relate to it. I'm
Tuesday I
just
was traveling, I remember that because I was on an airplane, but outside of that, dude, like, it's and that's my cross to bear, so to speak, and that's kinda
yeah,
just where I'm at and where I've been at, post-Christmas, really, but going into a new month, going into February, I'm really trying to feel better and put that through, so I think
dude.
that's a really good segue though, because we got our first, listener question, you know? My buddy John, who's listened to both of the first 2 episodes, hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I have a topic and I have a question I'd like you guys to discuss." So I was like, "Dude, tell me." And he told me, and I have been flip-flopping on it for it was this morning he messaged me. I've been flip-flopping on it
Uh-huh.
all day. So I'm gonna hit you with this out of the blue, Mr. Steve Bow. So, what John would like us to talk about and like us to discuss is his question, I should say, is if you had a magic wand and you could just wave it and get rid of one thing of the two that I'm going to say, what would you get rid of and why? If you could wave a magic wand and get rid of your
'Kay.
depression or get rid of your anxiety,
Is there a name to this spell?
Avada depression, let's just call that, or Avada
Avada
anxiety,
depression.
Avada Kedavra, the killing curse
Yeah,
from Harry
yeah,
Potter.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Um,
that's the I didn't know that was the yeah, okay, yeah. Continue,
I
continue, I'm
have my
sorry.
moments. They're few and
I'm a
far in
squirrel.
between, but I have them.
I'm a squirrel.
You're fine. But if you could wave a magic wand and you could get rid of your depression or your anxiety, you could only choose one. Which one? What's your immediate knee jerk reaction? Which one would you get rid of, and kind of why would you want to do that?
That's a deep one.
The deep. We're getting
That's a
deep today.
deep question,
That was a
dude.
deep question.
I don't know. I mean, all of the depression or anxiety I have is just it's I feel like it's necessary in a way because the things that you might be depressed about or anxious about are things that you should or could be doing, like my brain is always trying to figure everything out, right? Trying to be better, trying to come up with ideas to make more money or improve my relationship or, I'm always trying to figure things out. So if I'm depressed about something, the older I get, the more I try and like think about it in like I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know. That's a tough
It's a
question.
tough question, right?
I don't I don't know that I would get rid of either, and I've never I mean, I have stress and anxiety, all the time, but I've never, like, labeled it. So,
I mean,
I don't know that I would
that's
get rid of
heavy.
either because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe to be completely honest, it's probably because I fucking drank and smoked and fucking did that for so many years, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's a number. It's that I mean, for a long time,
Well, and
but,
what you just said, it's a number, right? And that's kinda
yeah.
what I mentioned, like, depression, anxiety, like, it affects everybody so different, right? So I know people that they like you said, they numb it. They just fill that so they don't have to feel that, right? And
Yeah.
that's a challenge. That was totally me in my early 20s. Uh, even yeah, is just filling that
You know,
void.
I think though when you start doing it, it's not that. When you start doing it, you're a teenager, you know, you start getting fucked up, you're partying, you're having a good time.
I
But
thought you
as you
never
get
raged.
older, yeah. Never rage, dude. This is just me speaking in hyperboles.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even know
Look
if
at
that
you appropriately using that term. Way to go. I'm proud of you.
Hey, shit, I lost it.
I'm
Where was
sorry.
I going? What were we talking about?
I'm not 100% certain. What I would tell you is for me to choose between my depression and my anxiety, I would probably wave the wand and get rid of my depression.
Hmm.
The melancholy, the fog, all of that. My anxiety has been much more prevalent for me than the depression has, but because it's been more prevalent, I've been able to take the steps to learn how to manage it and identify it and label it and work through it, right? Like I still get anxious getting on airplanes and flying, but I've done it enough. I know how to work through it, right? There's certain situations where I'm at a table, with a client or whatever, and I start to feel really anxious. I know what I need to do to ground and move through it. The depression for me, it's such a fog and a melancholy and this overwhelming sense of like inferiority, like I'm not good enough and I'll never be good enough, and that's what I would want to get rid of because I feel like that's what causes me the most angst and the most anxiety is when have that,
I get
like
what you're saying. I get
yeah,
what you're saying. I get what
yeah,
you're saying, but at the same time, that is normal, you know? Like, you know how you were talking about the other night when you're up in the airplane and everything is so small, and
mhm,
everything is so small, and why are people so worried about these things? But then you get back to the ground and you're like, "Oh, this is why." There's so many people in the world, and there's so many things that you should do and all these things that you have depression for. I'm only talking as a person that's not like, you know, I it's hard to explain. Like I feel like I have anxiety and depression, you know, sometimes like throughout the week, but like I feel like it's like a fire that like is like propelling me to do better, you know? Like it's not about getting rid of it, it's about like embracing it in a way and, like, facing it and just being like, why am I depressed? Am I depressed because I need to do better at work? Am I depressed because I need to lose weight? Am I depressed because I need to fucking invest more money? Am I depressed because I need to have a better relationship and be a better husband?" Like, probably. Probably you're probably depressed about a lot of those things, and so am I. But it's not that you wanna get rid of it, it's just that you wanna just face those things that you're anxious about and you're depressed about and improve and upgrade, you know, like,
yeah,
but
and
I
it's
think that
it's
it's
I
amplified. It's just amplified these
right.
days, you know,
Well, and
like,
it's got such a
everything is to the
stigma.
extreme.
Correct. There's a stigma, right? Like when I was in high school, like the stigma was, oh, if you're depressed, you're cutting your wrists and then you're gonna kill yourself. And it's like, no, like I think
Do you ever
there's
have you ever heard of a band called Papa Roach?
yeah, of course. I've seen them live, dude. They're fucking amazing. It's
Cut
Sabrina.
my life into pieces.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
my last resort.
Yeah. No, it's dude, they're I mean, it's true though. And there's such that stigma where somebody's like, "Oh, you're depressed. Oh, you're gonna kill yourself." It's like, no, being suicidal and being depressed are not mutually exclusive, and they're not mutually together either at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
a gray area. Everybody experiences it differently. And I think that there's this huge stigma behind what being anxious is or what being depressed is, right? Like, I don't know why my fight or flight kicks in when I'm at dinner with clients, but it does.
Oh, what do you mean? I know why. Because you partied like an animal and you're not you're in a
I'm just
very
fried.
different place now.
Yeah.
You're in a very different place now. Like, imagine how many things you've done when you were wasted, and now you're just at dinner with older dudes, and you're like,
Yeah. I'm
I
sitting
feel
here
that
talking
same way.
sitting here talking to somebody and I'm have the realization this guy is bagging $100 million or more a year. Like, what the fuck? Who am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're the dude that knows a lot about kitchen equipment and sells it well.
Yeah,
Just
right?
fucking, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
just it is what it is. You provide the
No,
service and you do it well. Don't
100%.
don't overthink it.
Hun
I do the same thing, dude. I'm nervous about the upcoming dinner with Pizza Shell,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I can't be there.
I'm
It
excited,
was so
but
funny. I told you that, like, I'm not gonna be able to be there, and I saw your face go, "What?"
hey, just the same thing you were just talking about,
Yeah,
dude. Sometimes when like,
yeah.
dude, I'm not gonna say who or is gonna be there, but I mean, you know. And it's my first time being with, like, a president, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
you're way in your head about that, but no,
I
you're
mean,
yeah.
not really, dude, because you know how I am, like, I'm gonna fucking go there, and I'm gonna dude, that's in March, bro. If I keep losing weight, I'm gonna be fit, I'm gonna go in there fucking looking good,
Yeah, and you're
have just some Michelob Ultras, keep it light,
yeah,
and just fucking shoot the shit, but I'm still nervous. I'm still super fucking
of
nervous.
course. You know, it's
Bizarre dude, Bizarre Mar.
yeah, in Vegas, and it's one of those things, man, like, one of the things that I keep having to tell myself is, like, these people are just people. They're all living the same experience that we're living at sure, different life cycles. Sure, some have lucked out in their careers and gotten to places. Sure, some came from money. We're all people, you know? And that's I mean, really that's the core of why I've been wanting to start the podcast for I mean, well before I knew you, to be transparent. I've been on it since, for 2, 3 years now that I've wanted it to start a podcast, and we just vibed so well. I was like, "This is the guy," and we just did it, you know what I mean? And now we're
Hey.
doing it, you know? But it's also like it's not necessarily that, like, we have some great story to tell and we're rags to riches and everybody be motivated by this. It's no, like, it's like, respectfully, we're 2 average Joes living an average life, and everybody else is following and seeing what is being broadcast on social media and being propagated, and you have these content creators and these influencers that are making all this money. They hate their life because they're always editing, they're always creating content. There's
Well,
no slowdown, you know?
it's a job.
Correct.
It's a job.
Dude, we're doing this like part-time and it's a job in of itself.
I was up till 3 AM last night making
Yeah,
fucking images, dude,
I
making
know.
fucking images and setting up all the next post, like, I know it looks
Yeah,
funny, like, "Oh, yeah, you just do it like this," but, like, this shit takes time.
it does. 100%. Man, I mean, everyone's just normal, average person, and we are too. And I think that's the core of why this podcast is so meaningful to me because, like, to your point, like, you're up till 3 a.m. working on creative, and
Yeah,
we're sitting here spending hours editing and creating reels and doing all the stuff, and it's fun, and I enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun. But you talk to the people that are full-time influencers, full-time content creators, like, yeah, sure, they're in Naples, Italy, living their best life, and then but that's what you see, but you don't see the hours and hours and hours of time behind the scene. Like, that's not the average person's life, right? Like,
oh,
that's what we
it's
have.
I mean, and you go to those vacations and you're working,
Yeah.
you know?
You're always on the clock.
From what I've heard that, like, even when you're there, you're taking all these photos, but you're not just, like it's not someone just, like you're, like, partying, having a good time, and someone's going, "Shh." You're, like, taking photos and I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Alright, man.
crazy.
So, that's a really heavy topic of, depression and anxiety, but I wanna transition to something a little more lighter, and it's the second iteration of the So Down game.
Oh,
Gonna try
geez.
a little bit of a different, you know, approach to it. So, I'm gonna
Yeah.
rapid fire, 4 or 5 situations to you. I'm gonna give you 15, 20 seconds to answer each one, and then you can rapid fire you know, 4 or 5 situations to me and give me a few seconds to answer each one, okay? Are you ready?
Uh, sure. I gotta make sure I have these questions ready.
Would you be down to be happy but completely average forever? Like never
100%.
huh,
Yes, down.
so down?
So down.
Okay. Would you
Happy and average?
happy and average? Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
paradise. That's paradise. Are you kidding me? Why would I wanna be above average? If you can be happy, I mean, it doesn't even matter average, what does that even mean? As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Right. I would
That's all
agree.
that matters. Think about it. None of the things that you think matter, matter. If you're happy, that's all.
That's all that matters. Would you be down to make millions doing something that you hate for work?
Depend, but probably, yeah. You know, that's funny you say that because so many people, so many young people, and this may probably sound horrible, but so many people are like, "I wanna do what I love," you know? Like, "I just wanna do something I'm passionate about," and I'm like, "You know what? I used to feel the same way. I tortured myself in kitchens for years. It's better to go to school and get a job to do something where you can make good money and then enjoy your passion outside of work, because when you mix the 2, then one becomes the other." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so go to school, get a job that where you can make decent money and enjoy yourself outside of work. Work is work. It's just something you do to make money, to live your life. You work to live, you don't live to work.
This is true.
All right.
This is true.
That was a long segue.
Yeah, I know. I gave you a little extra time, I think. Would you be down to ruin one person's life if it meant saving 10 people's lives? Let's get into some morally questionable
Uh,
areas.
sure. Ruin or end?
Let's say ruin.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
You'd ruin one
everybody's
person's
life.
life to save
I
10?
mean, how? Yeah, absolutely. To save 10 from what? Death?
I don't know, dude. It's an ambiguous question. It's just more. We're
Yeah, I'd
going to
ruin
some
one
moral.
person's life to save 10. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
What if it's okay? That's fair. Would you be down to watch the world burn if you were the one that came out on top?
Would I be down? No.
No, you'd want to burn
Would I
with the
do
world.
it and be like, "Oh, shit." Yeah, probably. I mean, if I was the last one, what am I gonna do?
All right, I got one last question for you. Okay, let me try not to laugh while I say it. Uh, would you be down to fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Duck-sized horses, 100. I would fuck with the duck-sized horses, dude. Are you
A
kidding me?
100 duck-sized horses?
I would be kicking the shit out of them, dude. I would just be fucking soccer kicking one after the other. I'd just do a windmill, breakdance windmill, just
I'm
fucking
sorry.
duck-sized horses flying left and right.
A horse-sized duck sounds like the shit of nightmares, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, that thing will crack you up, dude.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, man.
Alright.
You're
Your
up.
questions were good, dude. Let me
I
see,
have a
hold
bunch
on.
more, but there were a couple I was gonna
But
ask, but I
you had
filled
that
out how you were
planned.
gonna.
You had that planned. Okay, let's
We
see. Let's
we
see what I
started
got
off
over
so
here.
heavy it feels weird like going into the game.
Okay, I'm just gonna wing it. Alright. If you had a clone, would you fight him?
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Would you fight him to the death, or would you just beat him up and be like, "Get out of here"?
Here's my thing. I don't know enough about how clones work, about whether or not they're fully independent souls or not.
Fully independent
So he's
clone.
gonna go live his own life.
But he's jealous.
I beat the shit out
Very
of him.
jealous.
I know my weaknesses. I beat the shit out of him.
Dude, I would kill my clone. Are you kidding me? I would take that motherfucker out, dude. There's nobody like me.
Except for your clone, apparently. All right.
No, he's done. Cooked. Okay, here we go. Would you go broke chasing a dream? I'm talking broke. I'm talking refinance your house, raise your payment, fucking sell your car. Would you do that if you were like, I know that I can do it?
I would. I'd be so down to do that. I would. And I draw
So
inspiration.
down.
So down. I draw inspiration. I don't know if you're familiar with who Jesse Cole is or the Savannah Bananas, if you're familiar with them.
The Savannah Bananas,
Bananas.
never heard of them.
They are Banana Ball, their own quasi professional baseball league. He's got 6 teams now that do it, and it's performance baseball. Well, Jesse Cole and his wife went completely broke chasing that dream, and now they've sold out over 36 professional stadiums, and they have a wait list almost 2 years long for people to go see their games, and they've kept all their prices the same, and he is living his dream and creating a new brand of baseball. Like, yes, I would go down chasing a dream. If I knew that it was going to pay off and I could sell that dream to Sabrina, yes, I would absolutely
Are
go
you
broke
thinking
with her.
hold on, did you say performative baseball?
Yeah. Have you never
What is
seen
that?
you've never heard of the Savannah Bananas? Steven, I am gonna educate you on the Savannah Bananas. I will send you some videos. These guys,
Send me some
I'll
memes.
send you some memes. I'll send you some reels, dude. The Savannah bananas are the shit, dude. All right, what you got next?
All right. Would you cut off family for peace? Like if you had a family member that was just, not the greatest, would you cut them off
Yeah,
if you needed to? You would?
unquestioned, unquestioned,
Forever?
unquestionably. I mean,
Forever?
forever. And here's the thing, man. Like Sabrina and I have family that we don't see eye to eye with, who I personally think are not good for us to be around on a regular basis. And I have
Okay.
butt heads with that individual, and I have
Oh, that
I have
individual.
cut ties with them before, and we've always
It's
brought it
juicy.
back. We've always brought it back because we're gonna go there. But I have no problem being the villain in someone else's story if it's gonna protect my peace, protect my wife's
Yeah.
peace, protect my daughter's
Well
peace.
said.
I have no problem
Well
being the
said.
villain. Absolutely no problem at all.
Well said.
Ugh.
Well said. Okay, that was good. That was good. And you kept it quick too, dude. Oh, would you be down or not down to know when you die?
I don't know. I would not be down for that. I wouldn't because I feel for me personally that I would the time leading up to my death. So if I knew I was going to die at 67 because of something, that whole time, like the year up until that, I would be a mess. Knowing that it's going to happen, I'd be so much I'd be trying to accomplish, so much it would change everything about how I lead my life. I wouldn't want to know. I don't want to know.
Okay. I think, and because I like this one, I would probably, and this is maybe a crazy answer, I'd probably want to know. And the reason why is because if I knew that I was going to die at a certain time, I would probably either trust the process and live to be a very old age, and just live my life. But if I knew that I was going to die in 5 years, I'd be like, fuck it, let's live to the full. You
Change
know what
some
I
things,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
And you're
because
not wrong,
because
but
you're
that's
gonna die. Maybe that's kind of dark but we like I said before, we've had so much loss. We're gonna die, and when it happens,
correct.
it's gonna be sad. And then in a year or two, people that used to know you are gonna feel better. You know,
Right.
it's part of life.
Well, and that's kinda what we
Death
talked
is part
about.
of life.
That's kinda what we talked about the first episode, like, what kinda legacy am I leaving for what kinda legacy am I living, but what kinda legacy am I leaving for my daughter, right? For me, it's different, right? Because, I mean, no disrespect, like, I have a five-year-old daughter, so my long-term thought process and planning revolves around what am I leaving for her? It's kind of what prompted me to start the business that Sabrina and I have. I mean, obviously, it's not our main source of income, but like, what kind of legacy am I leaving? Well, if I can scale that business to where it is replicable and scalable, and I can either sell it and get a huge payday and reinvest that into something else and start a new brand, or make it to a point where it can be a good source of income and my daughter can inherit it, take it over at some point, like that's where I'm thinking, right? That's kind of how I'm thinking about and processing what's going on now, right? So knowing when I die would change that thinking, and I just would want to know, because if I found out I was going to die in 2 years because of a car accident or a brain aneurysm or some shit, like I wouldn't want to know that.
Wouldn't you want to know though, so you could just live it up and like do
Even
everything you could possibly do before?
I am
Spend the
already
time,
I'm
write the
living my life like I'm
letters.
going to die tomorrow anyway, right? But I'm trying to build a sustainable, you know, not only necessarily a nest egg. I don't have the money to have a nest egg, but it's just something that's sustainable so that when I go, Sabrina's gonna be okay. Like that's my
It's called
priority.
that's called term life insurance.
Well, I mean, I have that too, bucko. But
Outside of work.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like that's what I'm
Yeah,
working towards.
I know
So
what you're saying.
that's a
I
good
know what you're saying.
question.
Okay,
That's a good
good
question.
that's what I'm saying. That was a good question because I would wanna know.
I would want to know too, man. I wouldn't want to
Would
know.
you okay,
No,
that one's
no, I don't. I wouldn't want to know. I don't want to know when I die. There's
I
a part of
would, dude. I would
there's
wanna know. I
you're
would start
starting to
skydiving more.
stop it. You're starting to sway me, and I don't want to be swayed.
I'd wanna know. I'd wanna know. Think about it,
Yeah.
they're like, "You got 1 year." Like, think about what you're gonna do this next year. Think about
I'll
where
spend
you're
the
gonna put
absolute
your
first day.
where you're gonna put your energy for this next year,
If I found out I
right?
had a year to live, I'd spend that entire first day having a full-on panic attack about it, and then I would put on my big boy pants and figure it out.
Oh, yeah, that would be tough to get over that initial hit, though. Like,
Yeah, that
if it
initial
was
hit's
soon, you
terrible.
know?
Yeah, that's what I'm
But what if
saying.
it was like 120? Hey, on the flip side, what if it was like
120?
you're gonna be
That
the
sounds
first man that lives to 120 years old. Elon Musk is gonna find you. He's gonna love your podcast. He's gonna inject you with this shit, and you're gonna live forever. Elon Musk. Thanks, bruh. Take me to take me to Mars. So, okay, this is my last question.
man.
If there was a shot that you could take to where you could stay healthier, you'd still get old, but you wouldn't be decrepit. Say you stayed in like when you're like 65, like you didn't age past 65, right? And you could live till 100 guaranteed or 110, but they capped it at 120 because then motherfuckers would just be too powerful. Would you, it would be too experienced. They'd be exposing secrets, right? There has to be a cycle.
I so it
Well, would you be down or would you not be down?
In that scenario, yes, I would be down. Okay, because
Okay.
I'm hitting 65 and carrying that health and that, you know, body and everything to 100 and then passing, I'd be down, right? What I'm terrified of is you see those people that are 110, 119. They're living in homes, can't wipe their own ass, like cannot get out of bed. You fall down, you break your hip, you're
It's
guaranteed
horrible.
to die. It sounds terrible. Like it does. And let's call it like it is. Like it sounds awful. And I had a grandmother that, she was in her 90s when she passed, but she was in, a care home and assisted living for dementia for 15 years, 12 to 15 years. I love my grandma, but that I mean, if you're there, you're there, and I'm not going to knock it, but I mean, that sounds awful, but at the same token, like if I don't have I'm not gonna have a say in that, right? Like I'm gonna get older and I'm gonna age and my body's gonna degrade and my mind's gonna degrade. That's just the natural order of things. So like I'm not gonna knock it or disrespect it or do that because I'm not gonna have a say in it. But if Elon Musk was like, take this shot, once you turn 65, you'll be 65 until you die at 108, I would sign up in a heartbeat. Because at 65, physically, not everybody, but I would say the majority, you should be able to get out and go hiking. You can go on an airplane and go on a vacation. You can go to Italy and go do things, right? You may not
It
have the
would,
energy level that you'd have in your 30s and 40s, you know what I mean? But like you should be able to.
I think it would also depend on your state at 65, because there's some people that are 65 and you're like, you're 65?
You look
And there's some people
83.
that you could be 83, you could be 65 and look,
I mean, I have some
55.
I'll tell you this, I have some clients that I work with where I'm talking to them, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm 62." And I'm like, "Bullshit, I thought you were
They're
48."
fucking ripped. It's like rich, fucking ripped
Oh,
ass dude. He's
and
like, yeah,
sometimes
I got 37 fucking franchises.
not all of them are ripped, not all of them are shredded, right? Some of them are
Yeah.
they're big, they're heavy set, but they're not like frail. You know what I mean? Because they're getting out and they're walking and they're doing the putting the time in. Being ripped and shredded doesn't guarantee you a long life. It doesn't, right? In fact,
No, definitely
overworking
not.
yourself is doing some of the things that bodybuilders and stuff would do, the test and things like
Oh
that.
yeah, no,
It'll
that shit's
definitely
horrible.
affect you. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's a good question.
That was a good question, dude. It was a good showdown game tonight.
It
It was
was a good
better.
one.
I feel like I don't want to say it was better, but it was the
Well,
rapid fire is
we're
where it's
building the
at.
flow. We're still figuring
The
out what's gonna
rapid
work
fire
better.
is
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. It was
Um,
a little hard to transition from depression and anxiety to the game. So like maybe in episode 4 we'll
but
do
it's
that.
good though.
We'll
It's
do the
good.
game
That's
first.
kind of
Yeah,
how that's kind of it's reflective of how life is.
yeah.
Sometimes it's sad and sometimes it's
It's
not.
happy. Yeah.
You know,
So
so down.
I I want to transition now to the Sabrina's mystery topics of the week. And your Sabrina's mystery topic isn't really quite a
Um,
mystery topic because she mentioned it to us on Thursday.
no, I don't. I don't remember what it was. You were supposed to read it to me before we started
I
recording,
wrote
and
it.
then
Oh,
you failed.
I failed to do that. I have it written down
Yeah,
though.
so it is a mystery.
It's a
Here we
mystery for
go.
you, but it's been on my desk for a
Here
couple
we
days.
go again.
Your Sabrina's mystery topic is when should you, as a parent, if you had children, and
Oh, yeah, I
speaking as
remember
a
this one.
restaurateur, when should you leave the restaurant when your kids are flipping out and melting down?
As a former manager, my favorite customers were the ones that parented their children and would literally sometimes be like, "We're gonna cancel the order," and would take their kids out when kids, because kids throw up, kids throw up,
Yeah,
not all the time in the restaurant, but I'd say probably, I don't know, once every month and a half, like some kid fucking puked on the table, and it happens.
yeah,
Or screaming kids, crying kids,
banging
like,
on windows and things.
yeah, I think it also depends on the restaurant, like, unfortunately.
If you're a Denny's or an IHOP, it's kind of expected.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never worked at one of those. Actually, you know what? It's a funny story is when I was 18, I was living in Costa Mesa and I got a job. I was in culinary school. I had just gotten culinary school and I was like, "Oh, I gotta find a job." So I was gonna be a takeout server at Denny's. And I did the online training courses for like 3 days and then got the job at the Google building as a prep cook like 3 days into it and then left. I was like, "Hey, I got another job. I'm out of here." I don't even think I called him, but it was a funny experience because it was everything that you would expect Denny's to be. It was the Denny's. If you're familiar with Costa Mesa and like the triangle and like 17th, I think it's 17th Street. There was a Denny's that was right there. I hope it's still there. Right in the corner where all the
It's
all the
probably at
streets meet.
Norms now.
No, no,
Call it
Denny's
like
is
it
it's
is.
it's guaranteed it's still there. Maybe not. Hopefully it is. Regardless, I fucking trained to be a takeout specialist at Denny's when I was 18 or 19.
Nice. So for you, it's when a kid's throwing up at the restaurant, that's when it's like, "Take them home"?
Yeah, but a lot of the times they don't, and they just leave the table covered in throw up.
That's so will tell you, my daughter has not thrown up at a restaurant that I'm aware of, that I can remember, except maybe when she was like a baby and she's not eating the solid food, you know what I mean? We have left a couple of restaurants because she's flipping out and yelling. For her, it's more yelling, it's more shouting, being loud, getting down, running out from under the table, and somebody has to chase her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes, like, we give her the tablet and she shuts up, and then her food gets here and she's a menace because she doesn't want to eat it, right? So I I'll tell you, when I was managing fast casual, because I've never been in full service, so it's just never been my segment that I spent time in. But when I was managing fast casual restaurants, there were times where you'd have kids throwing things, and the parents would just be like, "We're leaving." It's like, "Thank you," because if that your kid throws their soda and it lands on someone else, guess whose liability insurance has to cover any damages? Ours, right?
yeah, 100%.
I always appreciated that, but I mean, you can have kids that are being loud as long as the parents are on them. For me as a manager back in the day, as long as the parents are, like, actively trying to correct and coach and stay on it, I was always like, "Alright, cool, the parent's on it." It's when a kid is screaming, throwing things, throwing up, and the parent is just checked out. That's when it's like, "Dude, you gotta do something. Someone's gotta do something." Then I have to go over there and be like, "Hey, your child's being obnoxious. You need to make him stop." Then the parents get pissed, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't wanna insert myself into that situation, that's terrible.
I don't think I've ever had to go to a table and be like, "Hey, like, you gotta get out of here." Like, I would just it would just it it would, like, I don't know. I've worked in a lot. I managed the last place I was at was big. It was a big place, and, like, on a busy night when the restaurant is full, there's so many people in them, there's so much going on that, like, there could be a table in a different in a section across the restaurant that could have this going on that somebody might mention it to me, "Hey, there's this kid that's crying," and I'd be like, "Oh, that sucks," you know?
Right. Are
What do
people
you like, what
yeah.
what am I gonna do? Like, unless it was, like, extremely out of control, there's a baby crying, there's a kid
Yeah,
yelling, I'm
it's
like, "This is a fucking restaurant, this is a place of business, we serve food, we're humans, they're children." Like, I'm so sorry. I wouldn't go to the table, I would probably go to the guests around and, like, be like, "Oh," like, maybe after the table left, I'm like, "Oh, sorry about that, guys," you know? if they were
Right.
upset, but
Here's my
it's a human thing,
right, here's my hot take.
right?
Here's my hot take. If it's a baby, you cannot control a baby. You can't. Can't reason with them.
Yeah, that's why I would be
Children are
like, "Yeah,
not
there's a
known
kid, he's loud, it is what
they're
it
not
is."
born knowing things. If it's like an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old that's in 1st or 2nd grade,
Throw throwing them bows.
hey, we
"Hey,
should
little
normalize
fucker."
going to a telling children, "Hey, you're kinda being a dick, stop." Like, that should
Well,
be
it used to
normalized.
be the norm. It used to be the norm. Now
Yeah.
everybody's so fucking sensitive. It was the norm when I grew up. Like, we
Yeah,
were respectful at restaurants.
my
Servers,
dad
I
would
remember
smack us on the back of the head. I mean, yeah, 100%, you know?
we just knew. We just knew. We just knew that when we went out, we were very polite, and servers would always be like, "Oh, your kids are so fucking polite." We were like, "Yeah,
"My dad beats me." No, I'm kidding.
we don't wanna get dealt with," you know?
Yeah, yeah. Man, I remember going to a restaurant in Chicago visiting family, and I remember getting I was probably, like, 7. I don't even remember where we were. I don't remember a whole lot of the details, but I remember getting upset at the table about something. I might have been younger, and my dad just gave me that look from across the table, and I was like, "I'm gonna stop now." You know? Like, I'm
Yeah, we
just like,
knew.
"It's not worth it," you know? It's
We
not
didn't
worth
fuck
it.
around in public. We didn't fuck around. We knew my dad would I'm pretty sure that maybe there was one time that we left a restaurant, but it wouldn't have been, we just didn't do it. I don't know. I don't think. I'm sure my mom would probably say different.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, when you have a child that's, like, 2 or 3 and is, like, learning how to talk, like, they don't have the emotional regulation to, like, be reasoned with, and I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
it's
especially in a restaurant.
I'm not gonna say it's okay, but it's reasonable. It's a reasonable expectation. When you have a kid that is 1st grade, 2nd grade, or older and is having the similar reaction to a 2-year-old, like, that's a problem, you know what I mean? Because that child's in elementary school, that child should be able to be reasoned with. And there granted, there's, cognitive things and mental illness is very real and mental disorders are very real, and I don't wanna downplay those, but if you're taking your child to a restaurant, I would assume that you have a reasonable expectation of how they're gonna be and how it's gonna go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for some people, not all of them though.
Not all of them.
I've seen it all.
That's for
I'll tell
damn
you
sure.
what though, adults are worse than kids.
Oh, without a doubt.
Way worse,
Oh,
way
without a doubt.
worse,
That's
way
why
worse.
I've always
I love kicking adults out, like, when it's
yeah,
something that adults doing, I'm like, "Oh, what table?" I'll
yeah.
fucking go over there, "Hey,
Where's
my
Karen
server
at?
said that you called her a bitch, like, you gotta go, you gotta leave now, you can't fucking talk to my people like that."
Dude, adults
I get all
are
fucking gangster on them. "Yeah,
oh,
you gotta
I
go.
can see. I can
You
s
gotta go. Pay your tab and now you gotta go," and then they start yelling and screaming, and I'm just like,
when I was an assistant manager at Chuck E. Cheese, okay? I'm not gonna
"Chuck E.
at Chuck E.
Cheese?
Cheese, yeah, it was sick. I was the kitchen manager, dude, so I just slung pizzas all day. And you gotta think on a Saturday when you're doing 25, $30,000 or more, you're slinging pizzas constantly. But I remember
Yeah,
one,
all
like,
day."
Tuesday, we had this family I'm gonna say it as it was. I had a family of gypsies that came in, and
Gypsies are
they
the
were
worst.
complaining about everything. I had this one lady, tell my team, "Hey, I put a $10 into the coin." It's when they had still had coins too. I guess that's how old I am. It isn't all digital cards like it is now. She put
Is
it.
that
She,
old?
oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was,
That's all I know.
it was 10 years. It was more than 10 years ago. It's probably 11 years ago, man.
Bro, I'm
I heard
38.
something on the
That's
radio that
all
was
I
talking about what
remember.
I heard something on the radio that was like, "What was your favorite song from 3 decades ago?" And I was thinking like AC/DC or, Guns N' Roses,
Fucking
and
Pearl Jam.
it was some song from 1996. He's like, "Yeah, from '96," and I was like, "No! Like, don't
Yeah,
don't
dude.
make me
Fucking
think about
Pearl
that."
Jam.
Yeah, but,
Pearl Jam.
this gypsy chick comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, I put $20 in the coin changer and I need, it didn't give me enough coins." And so I was like, "Okay." And I've seen her before, I've dealt with her before. So I go and I open up the whole coin changer and I pull all the bills out and I show her, "Now you put in a $1 bill, it gave you $1 of the coin." She's like, "Well, no, I fucking didn't. You didn't fucking see that." I said, "Hey, ma'am, I can't tell you to leave, but I can show you the very last bill that you put in here's a dollar and that you're lying to me. So I'm not helping you anymore. You're not getting anything else from me, my
No
staff."
way.
And I went on the radio. I told the people, I'm like, "Hey, the lady in the heavy set lady in the zebra shirt, we're not helping her anymore." And just became so unhelpful that her and her family finally left. It was just the best moment of my
That's
life.
crazy.
But at Chuck E.
Dude,
Cheese, you can't tell people to leave. No,
really?
no, you can't. It's family friendly. And then
Who dresses up as Chucky?
I've dressed up as Chucky. Can you imagine 6 foot, 280-pound me dressing up as Chuck E. Cheese?
Absolutely.
Kids were terrified. Terrified.
That's fucking awesome.
Usually, I'm looking at the staff, and I'm like, "Who's the smallest, most petite dude or chick that I can put in this thing right now?" And sometimes they're all busy, and it's like, "Oh, it's me." And I'm, taking my radio off and then being Chucky for 15 minutes and doing the dances and going back, putting it on. And you have to go into this
Doing the
room
dances?
doing the dances, dude. Like, yeah, kids were
You mean
terrified.
like
No, it was like head, shoulders, knees, and toe, and you're standing there doing the whole thing, man. And these
dressed as Chucky?
just as Chucky, and kids would follow you back to the room, and so you'd have to get back and put your radio on and say, "Am I clear?" And then you'd have to have somebody who's probably like your game attendant or one of the birthday hosts or something would have to come to the door and get all the kids to leave and stand guard so you could leave without ruining the magic. But
Chuck E.
you'd have
Cheese was
kids.
magical.
It was. It was.
Dude,
It was.
when I was a kid, it was all robotics. There was a stage in
Yeah,
Chuck E. Cheese, and
animatronics.
there
Yep.
was robotics, and the curtains would fucking come out,
This
and it
the
was robots. And the first time I saw it, I was like, "Are you guys fucking seeing this right now?"
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the store I was at was in Citrus Heights. They had animatronics in still until I left. I want to say like right before the pandemic, they or maybe during the pandemic they pulled them out, replaced it with all the screens and stuff. It's all screens and things now.
You
There's
know,
no more
during the
animatronics.
pandemic, do you know that during the pandemic, Chuck E. Cheese had a ghost kitchen, and they were slinging pizzas delivery
Yeah, of
out of
course,
the Chuck E. Cheese kitchens?
of course.
I remember that. Everyone was doing that, dude. It was
That's
crazy.
I mean,
Pandemic was a crazy time.
yeah. I mean, Doghouse started their own brand of breakfast burritos called Badass
Yeah.
Breakfast Burritos, and they're the best breakfast burritos I've ever had in my life. I order them to the
They're
office
the
a
and
few
you know what
times a
they're
year.
doing right now? You know what they're doing right now?
Slinging breakfast
Raking in the
burritos.
money.
Yeah,
Raking in the money.
yeah.
Breakfast, fucking potatoes, eggs, some sauce, salsa, bacon,
Dude,
sausage,
hey,
chorizo.
shout out Doghouse's Badass Breakfast Burritos. That stuff is fire. It is
Dude,
the best
you never
breakfast
had my
burritos.
breakfast burritos. You never had my breakfast
Yeah, but I
burritos
saw you
before.
eat that cup of Huel the other day and almost die, and I'm nervous to try any breakfast burritos you
Oh, the
have.
Huel. Yeah, shout out Huel.
You shout out
Horrible.
Huel. Yeah,
Revise your microwave directions. It's
yeah.
horrible.
All right, man. So we covered your Sabrina's topic. So I have my Sabrina's mystery topic of the week, and she wrote it down. She wrote it down. I have not seen it. I do not know what to expect, but I'm going to open it up.
I expect
Well,
something good because
she
she
gave us
killed it last
she
week.
gave us deli sandwiches last week, so I feel like this week will probably be a little bit more on the serious vein, just knowing my wife. But ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Importance
Surprise,
of
motherfucker.
the importance of removing the stigma around men crying.
Oh, I mean,
Men
I know
don't
my
cry.
answer.
I've never cried,
I
not
know
once in
my
my life.
answer. Oh,
What's your
I've
life?
cried, but you don't cry often. Death, you get a little crying,
Yeah,
but
if you're a weenie.
but even then, oh, you've never, yeah,
So,
wait
Steven, I'm
until,
gonna have you go first here, man. What's the importance of removing the stigma around men crying?
I think it's important. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's a good question, but I don't know. It's just me. Some guys are different. I'm not a big crier. I have, but I don't want to do it more. I don't want to be like, oh, I just want to cry more.
I feel like the stigma is like based around the fact that most men have had a girlfriend, significant other, whatever, where they've gotten vulnerable and cried in front of them, and
Yeah.
that significant other didn't embrace it and either weaponized it or used it against them, and that guy is like, "I'm never doing this again." Because obviously, like, our parents, grandparents are from the silent generation, and you have the baby boomers where they don't cry. Even Gen Xers,
Yeah, the
you don't cry.
stronger generation.
Correct,
They were stronger.
And I think that stigma, it's kind of, we talked about I think it was last week, we talked about like, hey, did your father ever teach you about feelings? Like, no, like my dad cried when his mom passed. I don't remember his dad passing. I was like maybe one when his dad passed. So when grandma left us, my dad cried. I saw my dad cry. You know what I mean? Outside of that, like it just wasn't something that was broadcast. Even same thing, the TV shows that we grew up on as millennials. I guess you're an elder millennial and I'm borderline elder millennial, I guess. I don't know what the breakdown is for that. But there's this
Well, yeah.
the role models that we grew up with, you don't cry. And I think a lot of men now, when they were in high school or in college and they had that first significant other that meant something and you got vulnerable and that significant other has the same TV shows and they're like, men don't do that. And they weaponize it. And so there's this stigma about men crying. I'm not going to say I cry all the time in front of Sabrina. I definitely don't cry all the time, but there's times when circling back to depression, anxiety, there's times where I'm in that pit and I can't get out of it. And, she finally gets it out of me and I let it out, right? And
Yeah.
when we go through that and I talk about the inferiority complex and all that stuff and or like when my dad had cancer the first time and it was really touch and go there for a little while and I was really faced with the mortality of the future without my dad, right? Like, it was the first time I really really opened up to her and she didn't weaponize it. She never brought it up as a way to, like, go against me and made me feel, like, okay and that it was open to be that way, and it was acceptable, and
Okay,
I think
I
that's what's
think
hard to find.
I think I understand the question better now. I'm not a big crier, however, I don't think that it should be frowned upon. Like, if you're gonna cry, let it out, fucking do it, you know? It doesn't make you less of a man.
Yeah.
Let it out, like, everybody's different, I cried when I first found out my dad had cancer too.
Yeah.
Um, it happens, but I don't think that somebody should be like, "Oh, you're not a man, you cried." Like, "Fuck you." That's
That's
fucked
the
up.
kinda the generation we were raised from, you know what I mean?
I think the difference is back then, if somebody cried, you weren't people weren't recording it and posting it
Right.
online.
Right.
Like, there was men crying all the time, but they were just doing it in their home with their fucking rotary telephone, like, no time to, like, call someone, like, "I'm sad," like,
Yeah.
they were just suffering in silence, and
It
that's why the generations are different
100%.
now. Now when
100%.
you're sad, there's just there's too much. There's too much shit. There's too much bullshit out there, like unrealistic expectations, fucking fake news. Just there's so much misinformation and conspiracy, and everybody's connected and talking like it's fucking daunting, dude. I'm scared for the kids that I'll raise in this world
Yeah.
because, I mean, I'm not, but in a way I am because I don't want them to have to experience all of this. Not that they will when they're young, I hope not,
Right.
but I can't really speak on it because I don't have kids yet.
No, it's true. You don't have kids yet. But it's one of those things, there's this stigma about, like, men's mental health, and I think that the men crying question, I think goes into that broader template, right? Like, you
Just
have
do it in private.
well, exactly, and that's what it's like, do it in private or don't do it all, and that's the stigma for
Yeah,
everything, and, you know, talking to people, they're like, "Oh, like, you deal with anxiety?" Or, "Oh" it's people coming out of generations where you're raised and you have I'm not gonna say the wrong role models, I think that's too strong, but the role models that you have are men are strong and men are silent and men don't ask for help. And you see those sitcoms where like, "Dad, we're lost. Stop for directions." And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna stop." It's the same thing, right? You have the role model that's like, "No, I'm strong and I'm independent and I'm the provider and I have to provide." And if I tell people what I'm stressed about and I cry in front of my wife, or if I go to the boys and we have a real heart to heart, like that shows weakness and men aren't weak. And I think that's the bullshit, right? Like that's really the fallacy that we're all being fed, is that we have to be strong and silent and show no weakness. I mean, no, dude, hey, anybody out there that's listening to this, not just you, Steven, anybody else that's out there, if you're struggling, if you're considering self-harm or you feel completely alone, you're not alone, okay? We all feel that. We all deal with it. If you need help, there are resources and people out there that can help you. If it's somebody that I know, call me. Do not ask me for money. I'm not that guy. But you need if you need help and you need someone to call, you get on the phone with me and I will be right there with you. Even if it kills me, I will be right there with you.
I
So
love that, dude. Same here.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man, that's a good question, and there's a whole lot of stigma, and like you said, the first I'm on a soapbox right now, Steve, you're just gonna deal with it. But, you said in our first episode, like,
You fly,
"Hey, man,"
fly.
you
No,
said
it's good. It's good, dude. These are good conversations to have, and I didn't want. I'm not going to interrupt. You're talking about something you're experiencing. You know, certain stories. If we're talking about something not important, then yeah, I'll probably interrupt. That's just what we do. We're those guys.
we're down for it. We're
However,
so down for it.
this is a very important subject, and
Yeah.
needs to be discussed because I definitely have. Sometimes I'm depressed, and sometimes I'm anxious about whatever it is. All of the shit. But I think that it's something
And I
that
wanna put that message I just said out there to anybody, not just men. I've had friends from high school that have taken their own lives that are women, and it's that loneliness is festering, and it can be hard to deal with, and you can feel completely alone, but you're never alone, and that's something when I was in my early teens and I was flunking out of college, like, I just felt so alone all the time. It's what drove me to drugs. It's what drove me the people that I did them with are all great people, and I love them, but it drove me to the wrong crowd, you know what I mean?
I don't mean to
I
laugh,
don't
but
but it's true, right? Like,
I mean, not everyone you do
yeah,
drugs with is great people. I've done some drugs with some people that were not so great.
yeah. No, me I'm
I
just
mean, I'm just kidding. We're obviously speaking in hyperboles.
obviously, yeah.
Caption that, motherfucker.
Yeah, hyperbole.
But no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's near and dear to my heart,
Yeah.
we've all had our struggles and the depression, the anxiety, the stigma around crying. I think it's the greater epidemic of men's mental health being I'm not gonna say a laughing stock. I think that's too strong of a phrase, but something that is just, discertified. People are like, "Oh, it's men are fine." And then, you lose 100,000 people a year, men included, to suicide. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, I mean,
jeez.
that's my soapbox, that's my stance, that's where I'm at on it. We could definitely dive into it more, but I
Yeah.
think, I think that's the episode, dude.
So
Alright, brother.
it was a good episode,
It's a
man.
good
It was
one, man.
good. Next week we're gonna be talking about music, and we're
Music.
gonna be talking about how music can help with depression and anxiety.
Fuck yeah, it can.
1,000,000%
It's a real thing, though?
helps me.
You've turned me on to more listening to lo-fi more than the metal that I listen to, and something about
Yeah,
the lo-fi just it occupies the ADD side of my brain so much more. Not like
especially when you see it and when you like ambiance lo-fi, like on
yeah,
YouTube. I'm
yeah.
telling you, shout out ambient outpost
Ambient
hashtag.
Outpost, the
That's the
shit.
one you need to put. We're gonna have to tag them because
Yeah.
if they could give me like a
It gives me, like
premium subscription to YouTube so there's no more commercials, that would be cool. I support you. I will plug you. I literally have you on in my living room right now.
"Alright, big dog."